Welcome everybody to the Paradox. I am Sosaflow, and with me is Hurricane Kaz, and we have the wonderful Game 2 of Muddy Water versus Legends United. Hurricane Kaz, you casted Game 1 with us. We are so happy to have you back again. How you doing today?
Oh my god, I'm doing amazing. I have been looking forward to these battles all week long since we did match 1. We've got some incredible battles, but also just the names that I'm seeing on this poster are absolutely incredible.
Right. First off, I want to give a big shout out to all the teams that participated in the Paradox. There are some big names here. They've taken time out of their day and out of their week to be a part of this tournament to give you all a great battling show, and it's really something. Game 1 was quite epic as we saw SoCal Swablu go down 5 points and come back with 10 straight 3 sweeps. I was sitting there like, what are you talking about? Is somebody? I was redoing all of my research, making sure everything was good. I mean, it was incredible watching those battles and doing that recap. Kaz, you got to see those names, you got to see those battlers. What can you tell us about Game 1?
It was really intense to go from like win after win after win to SoCal being like, no more though. Like, we let you have a few out of the goodness of our hearts, but no more. And just get sweep after sweep in the end game. And all the battles were incredibly close. Like, I mean, every time I do any casting, it's always crazy to me how, you know, the scorecard can say one thing, but you watch the battles and it comes down to literally just handfuls of HP.
Yeah, like the catches, the micro plays, the walking away with like one little sliver of health, IV management, it was all there as Swablu capitalized and are waiting for their opponent here in Muddy Water versus Legends United Origins. Now, Muddy Water and Legends United Origins, you've seen these teams before. One team has a new team name, but you've seen it in early factions, and that is the Legends United Origins. Originally, we'll just say some of these battlers, a lot of these battlers are OG Silph Season 1 Elite battlers. They are the 3 of the Elite 4 on top of an amazing, I'd say, leader of Australia there, and a great analysis in Jangles, like a great team to come out there. They're going through a little transition right now, and they're here to show that they are not losing a step. They aren't weakened. They haven't lost anything. They are still the strong battlers that you saw as world champions and world competitors. And they're up against this tough team too in Muddy Water, who are undefeated right now in Battle Frontier. They've been top tier in the Silph factions, and their names as well. You've seen them on GBL leaderboards. You've seen them in the Pokemon Go play scene. Not to mention, one of them is a top caster for it as well. So you have these 2 epic teams battling it out here, Kaz. It is quite an epic showdown today.
Yeah, exactly. This is why I've been waiting on the edge of my seat all week. Just looking at the names, I know that these battles are going to be even more intense than match 1 somehow. Just because, I mean, we have so many competitors that we know from the Play Pokemon circuit. And like you mentioned, Alpha being just an amazing caster on that circuit as well. So deep into the analysis that I'm looking forward to seeing the plays.
I'm so looking forward to seeing it, because this isn't just like a regular matchup. This is like, how does my competitor play against, when we might actually see each other in a Play Pokemon scene come a day 2 in the regionals. This again is the Paradox, and what this is both teams submitted 5 banned Pokemon, so a total of 10 banned Pokemon. If they did have the similar Pokemon, they overlap, then it would dwindle down. Nobody got extra bans. Then the teams within themselves brought 30 unique Pokemon. No battler could bring the same Pokemon. No 2 battlers could bring the same Pokemon. So each battler got to play their playstyle. And this playstyle is really good because you get better information about the actual trainer instead of the actual Pokemon meta. Because as a trainer, you get to play with like, oh, I'm a go-getter for your shields, or I'm a tank player. Me, I'm a go-getter for your shields. I like to go get for the shields, and I like to play Spice. Doesn't ever work in my favor, but that's my style.
Yeah, but Spice always leads to some fun battles, and you learn a lot from playing it. I think like it leads to more dynamic play styles, more dynamic move sets and experiences. So I think you learn how to handle, whatever might come up on your screen if you're more used to playing Spice over just meta after meta after meta.
Are you a specific type of battler, Miss Kaz? Or do you not want to give that away? You don't have to give that away.
I think I'm a little bit of an energy hoarder. Like I like to over farm a little bit. I like to have energy on the back end, like often, swapping. Like right now with the Electric Cup going on in GBL, one of my favorite things is to like get double lunge on my Galvantula and then swap to something else so that I have that saved in the back for later. So that's one of my favorite things to do in the Electric Cup and in general in GBL.
That's a great strategy. It's actually top ace veteran tier strategy right there. We're gonna take a quick look though at the bans, because with this strategy comes Pokemon that you don't want to see, and we talk about this, we see it quite a bit. Meta Pokemon are there, they're meta for a reason. But if you take them out, you can open up more and more Pokemon down the line. And as we see here from Muddy Water in Legends, you've got, on Muddy Water side, we've got Gligar, Lickitung, Medicham, Lantern, and Aslash.
And then on the bottom from Legends United, we have the Lantern, Steelix, Medicham, Registeel, and Carbink. They really don't want to see any Steel Pokemon, do they?
No. They're like, forget about it.
Yeah.
Legends like, we're out.
Get those tanks out of here. Excuse me.
I think Muddy Water called them up and be like, hold on. We're going to put down Aslash too. You guys missed the steel typing. We're going to help you out there. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a great call. A lot of steel taken off that. I see, again, Lantern, Medicham there, two core Pokemon that have been top 2, top 3 in almost every single regional we have seen. These battlers don't want to see it. Those are the best.
They're like, let's have some fun here and not use the thing that we see every single play Pokemon tournament in the top 3 picks. Shall we? Shall
we play with like a Toxicroak or Vigoroth? Yeah. Can we get some other fighters in here? Maybe play with another Electric. Water type Pokemon's out there. But with Steels being out there now, Flyers seem very prevalent. So we might be seeing a lot of Flyers again. Most of the time in a lot of previous metas, we've seen bans where a lot of Flyers get banned and then tanks run free or fighters run free. So now a lot of tanks are banned. We'll see how it plays out. But you know what, Miss Kaz? We have another video from Mr. MJ Get It. I'm so excited. He's given us another breakdown on these two teams. And let's get Evander and see what he's got to say, because he's got some good stuff on what to talk about. He's one of those top pro analysts on teams.
Yes. Can't wait.
All right. Match 2 tonight in the Paradox. We got Muddy Water versus Legends United Origins. Now, this sounds a little bit familiar to some of you guys who've been paying attention to all the Sylph stuff that's happened in the past. Like, this is pretty much a slight, moderately unique rematch. I don't know what I just said there. Anyway, it's a slight little rematch from like their bouts in Season 2, Cycle 3 and 4 Emerald, when it was Muddy Water versus, at the time, Stadium Elite. On the Muddy Water side, we got, let's check it out. We got JD, Cynex, Knots, Breezy, and Alpha Feed. And for Legends United, we got Arrow, Balarash, Valiant Bish. I might have messed that name up, my bad. Jangles and House Start. Both teams decided they were going to ban Lantern and Medicham for this matchup. Legends United going with the Gligar, Lickitung, and Alolan Sandslash ban, whereas Muddy Water doing the Steelix, Carbink, and Registeel. And looking at some of these teams, you can tell they definitely built around that. One of the more exciting matches I'm looking forward to seeing is Arrow versus JD. Arrow come on with the Shadow Magnezone and the Tentacruel. And of course, Frostlash, Arrow kind of likes his ice types. And I think JD kind of picking up on it, decided he was going to pick up the Shadow Cantonian Ninetales. So it's going to be fun to see whether or not that Shadow Cantonian Ninetales, along with Swampert and the Noctowl, could do any damage against this Frostlash, or if Arrow's going to just work some of that trash talking magic and still just come away with a 2-1-3-0 sweep with the Frostlash. Another good matchup we got for you. Phoebe versus House Stark. It's going to be a real fun. Both of them coming in here with Toxicroak, an underrated fighter. Since Medichamp's gone, you might as well go ahead and pick the other fighter, one of the other fighters that can resist counter moves. You know, I just kind of noticed. I don't think anybody picked up Gallade. Y'all, what's up? Why don't y'all like Gallade? That's a good one. Like somebody should use Gallade. Anyway, back to the matchups. That should be a really good one. Phoebe coming in with the superior Umbreon. Berserker, a really unique steel type Pokemon, which could do some damage as long as it avoids that Toxicroak and the Stunfisk. But close combat can be good here, good there. Don't really know until the battles are played. That's going to be a nice one to watch. Let's see. Valiant Bish and Snots going up against each other. Snots coming with the Chestnut and the Shadow Drapion and Defense Deoxys, another counter user that resists the counters. But Valiant countering that with the Charger Bug, a Walrein, there's a Primate! There's a Primate! I still don't like the fact that I see Primate, but I'm waiting for Annihilate to show up. My bad, I can't speak right now. I'm just so hyped off the battles we just saw. Oh, yes. Anywho, that's going to be another good matchup. I think all the bands that they had, that both teams played out here, you kind of see what each team was thinking. And pretty much is all I got. I just want to get back to these battles. Come on, let's go. Let's get it. Nice talking to y'all. This is MJ Get It. Let's get it.
Mr. Get It gets us into it right away, and we're going to get right into the matchup here, Miss Kaz, and then we'll break down. He did a wonderful arrow into JD there for us, and then Cresselia right into the Swampert as Scrafty comes in off Crest, and Crest now has the energy, rocking that Moonblast. I don't know if this is a good giveaway, but maybe he doesn't bring in Crest for the next matchup.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't a terrible matchup for Crest because she can survive, a foul play at first, doesn't need to give up the first shield, whereas Scrafty does have to shield that Moonblast, double weak to it, even non-stab bonus, like would fear that move, that attack. So we will see Arrow going straight for another Moonblast, but Scrafty does win the charged attack tie. So we'll have to throw another foul play here before Crest gets to that Moonblast, earning the first shield back from Arrow, but now another Moonblast coming through. Are we going to see the second shield from JD?
No, and a great under tap from Arrow, but was it enough? Because those Cycle Cuts aren't doing anything to this Dark typing, and JD gets to another foul play. Arrow calculated just in time, but not enough. And this battler is so meticulous at trying to keep this Cresselia alive. Can he get, I don't know if he can. Oh
my God, that's brutal. That is a brutal
play.
Psycho Cut down. But I mean, it is a good play from Arrow to preserve all of that energy on Crest, because having seen the Swampert in the lead, knowing that JD cannot bring that back in on a Crest with energy, so has to reveal the third Pokemon, which is that Shadow Kanto Ninetales, now faced with the Tentacruel from Arrow's side. I really like this pick from Arrow. And I think that Tentacruel with energy, even without shields, is a pretty decent match for the Swampert as well. But that Scorching Sands lands!
Kaz, I haven't seen Scorching Sands hit Tentacruel yet, and I can't believe it. I was about to hype Tentacruel because it's such a great tanky Pokemon in these draft metas. But that Scorching Sand comes through, and now Swampert is loaded with health. And don't forget that Ninetales walked away with a little bit of extra energy. We talked about it. Here comes the water, and that's great by Arrow to bring out the Mantine.
Yeah, I was going to say, Arrow has the perfect answer in the back for both of these remaining Pokemon, the Swampert and the Shadow Kanto Ninetales over on JD's side. The Mantine is taking these moves from Swampert like an absolute champ. Arrow doesn't even need those shields anymore.
And this might be a tell, too, that it's not Sludge Wave Swampert, because Sludge Wave Swampert would actually hit Mantine a lot harder, whereas Earthquake isn't going to do anything. So Swampert, Arrow might be feeling really good now to bring Mantine into more matchups, especially against this Swampert Ninetales score.
Yeah, this Mantine doesn't have a water move actually, but 2 aerial aces will be enough to not only get that last shield from JD, but hit the Shadow Kanto Ninetales with a pretty strong move. I'm not sure if it's enough to KO though at this point. What do you think?
With the debuff of the the
Ooh.
Shadow? No, I don't think so either. As the Grass Knot, though, crazy to
Yeah.
say. Grass Knot's gonna take out a Ninetales, folks, and that's how we're gonna kick it off. The first matchup here.
Arrow showing a really masterful use of the overcharge, like I was saying earlier, that I like to use myself to get a lot of extra energy on Crest, a ton of extra energy on Mantine, and just have those nice 2 bulky Pokemon waiting in the back with that energy for whatever JD's backline ended up being.
Yeah, that ABB of Tentacruel and Mantine actually looked really good as long as you can match the right water Pokemon with the right Mon. You don't really want that Regirock to meet that Mantine, but at the same time, like Tentacruel and Mantine there can still put that pressure down on everything. And especially again, if that Swampert in Ninetales core, which looks really good, well, looked really good. We'll see if JD benches it, because Arrow's got that Magnezone, and I don't know if this is a nod to Martine or not, because that Shadow Magnezone now with that Volt Switch is actually really, really valuable here in GBL battling.
Yes, and here we see a totally new matchup, the Regirock over from JD against the Vigoroth from Arrow, and now Scrafty comes in. But I mean, this isn't a great matchup for Scrafty either. It's taking super effective damage from the counters on Vigoroth, even though they do not, get that stab bonus. And here we see again, Arrow going for that same matchup where he knows Crest can succeed with the right energy and shield advantage.
Scrafty is just not, it's just not Scrafty's
Can't
turn.
catch a break.
Look,
Can't catch a break. Sorry, JD.
Love Scrafty. It is a great fighter. You see it always ranked up high on PV Poke because it does have that power up punch counter is so good. But there's so many things that just come after it that can just wall it or put it in such a terrible position, as we see again now. This is great. The Arrow can now just farm up. He can even take a Scorching Sands, maybe the Weather Ball, not even give up a shield, do some chip damage to the Ninetales, and then keep the switch advantage in his favor.
Yeah, the difference here was that Scrafty had already given up a shield against the Vigoroth since it gets to that body slam so quickly, and not wanting to give up another one, letting the Scrafty go to the first Moonblast, means that Arrow couldn't hoard as much energy, but gets to maintain the shield advantage, which is going to be absolutely clutch for this end game, as Mantine's still waiting in the back for Arrow, and doesn't actually have the water moves to counter this Regirock, so Vigoroth is now able to come back in and just counter away.
JD tried to catch on Arrow, but Arrow did not allow it. He said, "No, sir, I can tell you want to catch on me." And he keeps the Vigoroth healthy. The last shield goes down as he's going to try to bait with the body slam. Will JD call it? No, makes a great call. No shield to bait body slam.
Yeah, Arrow does give up the last shield that he has here to protect this Vigoroth, knowing that he can actually probably counter down here before Regirock gets to another move. That's how powerful counter is. But just to be safe, Arrow goes for the body slam now, maybe trying to attempt to get this last shield out of the way, but the Regirock goes down from JD so that the Ninetales can come in, try to get a little bit of farm, but already faced with another body slam.
Yeah, with a shield, I don't think JD is there to just, I think JD is just conceding, understands there, even with an extra shield, there's no way that he could take the Cresselia with the energy there too. Great job again. Arrow playing that Hurricane Cast style of getting energy and banking it in the back. It was beautifully done. Pairing again that Cresselia onto Scrafty, a huge win for Arrow.
Yeah, it's one of those matchups where on paper you think it's going to go one way, but it's actually quite tilted in Cresselia's favor as long as you can get enough pressure from those Moonblasts. So here we see the Kanto Ninetales from JD up against the Mantine that it doesn't want to see. So a quick swap to the Noctowl this time for JD. But unfortunately, this hasn't been revealed yet. This Mantine has Ice Beam, and it lands on that Noctowl for so much damage.
Oh my goodness, Noctowl hasn't been on the battlefield in a while, and it finally gets onto the Poke Pitch and gets immediately Ice Beam, throwing a Shadow Ball onto a Tentacruel, who soaks that up nicely and now just poisoning down this normal typing bird. Another Shadow Ball won't take it out. It'll stay in the deep red, and with that, it can have the energy to throw and give up a couple of extra farm to whoever.
This is why I really like Tentacruel, even in the open metas, is because it is surprisingly tanky. And those poison jabs with some of their recent buffs, you know, allow it to stack a lot of damage on opponents and get to the move still fairly quickly so that it has a Scald ready for this Ninetales, and Ninetales doesn't even shoot! Oh my gosh, that's so much damage! But knowing...
Everything in Arrow's favor right now, Kaz.
Oh my gosh. But now tables have turned slightly as Regirock, lurking in the back for JD, has 2 shields against the Mantine. And Mantine, it's already been revealed now, has no water moves against... The ice does quite a bit of damage, but Regirock can healthily survive and has a Zap Cannon ready for Cresselia.
I like this play by Arrow. Get your opponent down to half, then bring in the Crest that you can soak up the first energy. Yeah, you get debuff, but now you're playing shield for shield on lock-on. Cycle Cut versus lock-on. You know you can get to those Grass Knots fast enough by the third one. You know you can take a Stone Edge. All you've got to do is just take that first one, and Arrow, he go crazy. He gonna take the second one. He's like, whatever.
Yeah, Cresselia will be fine. She'll be fine. You know, the Moon Duck Pokemon is one of the tankiest on the Pokemon field, and does get the first shield, I believe. No, the last shield from JD, whose Ninetales now comes in with a little extra damage, but I don't think this Weather Ball is near enough, and Arrow still has 2 shields like a total monster.
Arrow is ranked number 24 in the world after 2022 World Championship last year. He knows how to play this game. What a rookie he was back in 2019, a young lad. He's come out so strong in a strong 3-0 dominance here in the Paradox. And I mean, JD played that so nicely, but Arrow read everything and just had his way with that Cresselia. Oh, I don't think he changed the lineup once. Oh no, he brought in Vigoroth in game 2.
Yeah, in game 2 he brought in the Vigoroth, but I mean, that was such a good call, revealing the Ice Beam onto that Noctowl, you know, not having shown that in previous matchups, so that JD was thinking that perhaps he could be safer in that matchup. But yeah, just a dominant show by Arrow of of his team there, and I mean, showing that tanky Pokemon also can put on some pressure there.
Like we talked about the Crest, it seemed real clunky. We haven't really seen Cresselia in this meta right now. But I feel like it should be, with the Rise of the Dark showing up and the Frostlasses. Cresselia with that Grass Knot and that Moonblast has good coverage. We just saw it do really well. The fact of the matter is, Medicham is so strong with the debuff. There's so many things out there that Crest doesn't want to see. But it just showed in a draft way like this. Cresselia is not bad at all. It's a great top tier Pokemon, S tier in this kind of draft.
Yeah, exactly. I think Arrow knew exactly how to use that Crest. While it doesn't put on the fast attack pressure, it certainly has charge attack pressure to be a core breaker in a lot of scenarios. And that's definitely how he used it here, seeing that it had so much potential against almost all of JD's team, except for that Ninetales. But the Ninetales being a shadow makes it just slightly more susceptible to any damage, even if it's, not, resisted and not stab,
Even if it's Powder Snow from Frostlass, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So we are kicking off the Paradox. We just finished up game 1. I wanted to take a quick second here and show everybody what the battlers are fighting for in this tournament. The grand final winner will be winning. Everybody on the team will be winning one of these wonderful medallions here, so that they are the Paradox winner and champion. They can hang that in their trophy cases on their Pokemon Go journeys. That's what we do here at Paradox. So happy to provide that for them.
So cute. Listen, I said it on Twitter and I'll say it again. The Fuecoco, shows off those medals really well, but it's no construction hat Oshawott.
It is
Hashtag
no construction hat
Oshawott when.
He's coming. I got a letter in the mail yesterday. I'm going to be paid a visit by Construction Hat Oshawott. Apparently there were some regulation issues in game 1.
Yes,
hopefully I
permit.
fixed them for game 2 and he doesn't have any more.
He's got the permits for you to sign. And we've got 2 new teams here on the screen to take a look at.
Yes, we do. We have Shinx versus Valor Ash. We got the Sableye, Bastiodon, Dewgong, Venusaur, Dragon Knight, and Shadow Nidoqueen, which is kind of making a small comeback on Shinx's side.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we've seen some more fairy Pokemon coming into the meta to attempt to curb the rise of those dark Pokemon. So, of course, Nidoqueen is always going to be able to answer that threat. And over on Valor Ash's side, we see the Jellicent, the Shadow Alolan Ninetales, Swampert, Venusaur, Scrafty, and the Emolga. Emolga is a really fun pick and one of those Pokemon that is kind of surprisingly tanky, and its moveset, that recent addition of Acrobatics, gives it a lot of flexibility. But seeing that Bastiodon and the Nidoqueen over on Cynic's side, I'm just not sure Emolga has as much play as I would hope in this matchup here.
Yeah, Emolga, I'm so excited to see Valor Ash bringing a play style of a Pokemon that he likes. We saw Emolga actually do really well in, I want to say Peoria, but it could have been Sacramento. I think it was Sacramento with all that spice.
Yeah, I believe it was Telegraph Train that brought the Emolga in. Yeah, and had so much fun on the screen with it.
So much fun with it. And it does, with the Acrobatics, it can hit the Ninetales, it can hit the Venusaur, it can hit the Nidoqueen, it can hit the Dragonite. But Dewgong, Bastiodon, nobody wants to see it.
Yeah, but maybe we'll get a little tidbit. But I also really do like the Venusaur. I think Venusaur here has a lot of really strong neutral play for Valor Ash, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that come out.
I'm actually surprised to see someone found another steel Pokemon. Like, out of all the steel that got banned, Bastiodon.
Oh, come on.
Basti. Nobody likes this thing. Basti
I mean, we haven't seen a lot of flyers in the meta since Sky Attack got nerfed. So Bastiodon has gotten knocked down a few pegs since its primary use was to curb those flyers. So it's actually a pretty decent pick when other steals are banned. It puts on a lot of pressure with that Smackdown fast attack, and then has pretty good neutral coverage in its charged attacks.
Yeah, and like, I know it's good. It's got some coverage. It's just, I'm sorry. I just
listen. I take
San
it
Diego.
Too. Not sorry, Caleb Ping, but but here it is, and I will be excited to see if it has any play here, because I mean, it has some targets over there on Valor Ash's team.
It does have targets. I am excited to see. I mean, we're gonna see that the Emolga is gonna get benched, but that Ninetales still can do pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, my suspicion.
I'm pretty sure Bastiodon's gonna see the bench too.
Yeah, my suspicion is that Shadow Alolan Ninetales is on Charm. That's what we tend to see the Shadows running, going for that extra attack damage. But I'm excited to see whether I'm right or wrong. So I'm ready to get into
this
it.
matchup. Yeah, here we go. Dive right into Valor Ash versus Shinx. Here, the Paradox Game 2 is the second battle, Legends Ununited. We get the
and we do see immediately. Let's call it. It is actually on Powder Snow.
Wow.
So it's not going to be able to quite as effectively hit this Dewgong for the fast attack damage, but it will be able to get to that Dazzling Gleam very quickly. We will see the first drill run go through. Doesn't actually do too much, and then overcharges a bit before going straight for that Dazzling Gleam. Will we see a shield? No shield from Cynics.
this is actually really smart to have Powder Snow because he can now put better pressure down on Nidoqueen, on all those 3 Pokemon it's supposed to do well in, and still put some pressure down on that Sableye now, like some better fast move, charge move pressure. So we see that the Ninetales does go down, and Dewgong's going to now be a feeding feast for this Scrafty.
Yeah, this Scrafty is going to be able to get quite a bit of extra energy here. Not even going for that first power-up punch, but now Venusaur comes in from Sinnoh. And with the extra energy, Scrafty actually is in a pretty good position here, but unfortunately does lose that charged attack priority tie.
This Frenzy Plant's really going to hurt if there's no shield. Last second
Ooh,
shield.
last second shield, so that Valor
Ash,
can go
buddy,
straight. Yeah, can go straight for the foul play here, not even wanting to get a little bit of an attack buff, and almost has a second one ready now. Still, once again, over farming, and throws just before Sinnoh can get to that next Frenzy Plant. This time it will be a bait, but Sinnoh wisely calls it and does not shield.
Yeah. Great call again to keep the shield. Another counter goes through. Will it get shielded with all that energy on Scrafty? No, it does. This last second stuff is killing me, Ash. What are you doing, man?
But now this Scrafty faces the final Pokemon from Sinnoh, and it is that Bastiodon, which is in for a world of hurt, as this is the second power-up punch, which is now making these counters hit for so much damage. Oh my gosh.
Scrafty is just on that roll. You hear it all the time from battlers. If you can get your power-up punch or boost a Pokemon up, and it can just start going and rolling.
And it gets to another one before the Bastiodon can reach its first charged attack, meaning that this Scrafty absolutely dominates against Sinnoh's team. I don't think I would have seen that one coming.
I wouldn't have seen it either, especially with that Sableye and the Dragonite right there. Like, incredible play. Like, obviously, those are good benches because we got to see what Valor-Ash was finally rocking on that Ninetales. But, I mean, hats off to Scrafty.
Valor-Ash didn't even show his third Pokemon.
No,
like,
didn't even
need to. And so now in the next matchup, we do see a slightly safer lead from Valor-Ash, the Jellicent, against this Dewgong.
Kaz, I've got more shields from Muddy Waters team than I do points from them right now, because they're still holding on to shields from those matchups, as a Icy Wind is going to be unshielded here. It's going to debuff this very female Nidoqueen, or Jellicent. Sorry.
Are you feeling okay?
I saw the queen. I just think queen with the crown.
It's true. And she does show how powerful she is as the first Shadow Ball comes through. It is debuffed by that Icy Wind, but still hits for quite a lot of damage. And this Jellicent, I mean, the good thing about this position here is that the Jellicent from Valor-Ash does not actually really need to give up any shields. Even if this were a drill run, it wouldn't be near enough damage to knock out the quite tanky Jellicent. And though debuffed, these Shadow Balls will keep coming.
I mean, debuff and going. That's what I love about the debuff, is that you can still farm down. In some points, you get at a point where you're like, oh my god, I'm actually giving them more energy and giving them the win con, as Valor-Ash is debuffed, right? Triple debuffed, whatever. Sees it's gonna probably be the same line, draws out the Venusaur, knows that it's gonna be a farm down feeding frenzy, and knows his Jellicent's health to get to the Shadow Ball. That is some absolute brilliant play there from Valor-Ash.
Yeah, it's a great call there. I mean, sometimes you don't want that farm down to happen, but in this instance, since he does have Powder Snow on that A9, you can't swap that in knowing that that Bastiodon might be lurking in the back. So a beautiful call there from Valor-Ash to let the Jellicent get farmed down, bring in the Shadow Alolan Ninetales to show that they have it, and then force the Bastiodon to come out so that the Scrafty can get some beautiful farm.
Are we going to see another 5-0 and then 10-0 run after that? This is getting insane. This RPS matchup is really hard. And the lineup, Sheikz, you saw what they were trying to do. And Valorous just, without revealing the Jellicent from game one, led with it and tried to draw the Venusaur out. And Sheikz saw that, didn't bait it, but still lost the Dewgong lead. And now Venusaur has to deal with this boosted up Scrafty again.
I know. It's so painful because this Venusaur does have quite a bit of energy, but it will not be able to farm down. And so in a really tough spot, Valor Ash just forces that Venusaur and its energy off of the pitch. Absolutely dominant play once again from Valor Ash. A great team read.
4 shields now from Muddy Water that have been left on the table. 4 shields from these battlers. We'll see if Sheikz wants to use a shield in this one. Valor Ash, though, meticulous in this energy again, has a game plan, comes back out, and there it is. Sheikz gets the lead with the Bastiodon on that Ninetales.
Yeah, finally switches up the line, gets the lead that they want, and forces this Jellicent into the exact opposite dominant position it was in the previous matchup. Now faced with this Venusaur, there's just, I mean, it absolutely can tank one Frenzy Plant at this health range, but Valor Ash does choose to give up the first shield to protect this energy and be able to bait with the Surf.
Wow. To play that, well, hasn't revealed the second move, only through Shadow Ball's game one. Great job again, using that micro play in game one to come and attack his opponent in game two and really put the head pressure down, because it could have been Ice Beam on Jellicent, hadn't been revealed.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, a really good call to throw that bait in this matchup, knowing that, having shown that, like you're saying, having shown only the Shadow Ball in the previous match, they were more likely to think that they'd go for the stronger move. But unfortunately, Jellicent just still doesn't have the attack pressure to withstand the Venusaur here. And so Alolan, Shadow Alolan Ninetales will be able to come back in and get some energy, but it's not going to shield this Sludge Bomb. Oh my god. I mean, I know that the Bastiodon was lurking in the beginning there, so you think maybe you can farm this Venusaur all the way down and have energy for whatever in the back, but unfortunately, Sinix has changed their lineup, and the back is not looking as good for this Scrafty.
No, it's not at all. Finally bringing in the Dragonite with the superpower. That'll be super effective against this dark fighting typing. But there's no other Pokemon on Valor Ash's side. It is Scrafty or bust here. So going for that superpower is needed. Of course, it's going to do great damage.
And here no shields left in play for once. So the superpower does land and gets that Scrafty, just brushes it right off the field in the end game there. Sinix redeeming a point for their team with some team composition shifts.
Kaz, they got a point back finally. Now, this was this lineup, the way they played these lineups definitely seemed RPS. There was 1, 2, 3 matchup, and if you marry it up right, you got it. You got the W. Real try. Game 1 was difficult and had some energy cap, but didn't really go off. Game 2, that micro of the Surf instead of the getting the shield was a big play as well. But
I mean, Valor Ash showed in the first 2 games that he was a little more reliant on having that Scrafty with some extra energy in the back. So it's a great read by Sinix to bring the Dragonite and really use their energy from that Venusaur to force all the shields out so that Scrafty didn't even have anywhere to hide.
Yeah, I mean, Sheikz brought the same 3 for the first 2 and then swapped out that Dewgong, which was kind of just becoming a feeding feast for that Scrafty.
Yeah, I mean, Dewgong is a pretty great Pokemon to lead with, like in a lot of neutral situations, since you can immediately start like layering on those attack debuffs. But again, I think it was a great call from Sinix to finally switch it up in the last game. And sometimes that's how it goes. Sometimes in the game 3 against your opponent, you finally sort of get a feel for how they play and are able to manipulate that to at least get that one point on the board.
You got to get one for your team. It's not a fail.
Yeah.
It's not a bad matchup if you got at least one for a team, because
Yeah.
you can then, if you win by one, that's your 1 point.
If I win by 1 point.
If you win by 1 point, though, right? If your team wins
Yeah.
by 1 point, it could be that 1 point. You never
Yeah.
know. You just
When my friends and I are playing board games, that's what we always tell each other whenever we hate our cards or anything. We're like, if I lose by 1 point, I blame you. I blame all the rest of you.
I blame the deck. I blame the way the card was. Here in Pokemon Go, though, you gotta blame the draft and see what battlers draft. And as we see, we didn't get to see any of the Nidoqueen, the Sableye, nor the Emolga, which we figured we weren't gonna see that. We'll have to see if the next set of battlers will bring out their draft Pokemon, though, as it is game 3 now, and it's match 3 now of Snots versus Valiant Vish.
I see some Pokemon I'm really excited about here. First of all, the Pelipper over on Snot side looking really strong with its neutral damage potential against all of Valiant Vish's team. I mean, it can even start putting some pressure on the Charjabug if it has enough of an energy advantage and perhaps a shield. But that bug does also look really strong for Valiant Vish, so I would not be surprised if we bring that in.
Ms. Cass, have you ever seen a Primate player play? Oh my goodness, with the moveset of Cross Chop and Ice Punch, Ninetales can have a great matchup against 5 of those Pokemon.
Not to mention the Night Slash. Well, not to mention it could have Night Slash for that defense form Deoxys, you know? That's the nice thing about Primeape is, I mean, it's a glass cannon, but it's a glass cannon with also Swiss Army knives, you know? Like, do you know what I have? Exactly.
Well, after next week, everybody's going to know what battlers are bringing in the play Pokemon scene, because that rule will finally be taking effect. But for now, no one knows what the battlers have, as we don't know either. But we have Charjabug, Charizard, Serperior, Quagsire Shadow, Walrein, and Primeape on Valiant Vish's side. This is really a looks like a really strong meta team. I wouldn't be surprised to see this in future play Pokemon scenes. Maybe take out Primeape for Medicham. But besides that, like, the way things are matching up, Walrein actually is putting up good potential to be a strong tank Pokemon for us again.
Yeah, exactly. And over on Snot side, we have a non-shadow Alolan Ninetales, as well as that, oh my gosh, I wanted, it's not, no, the Pelipper we've already talked about. Aurorus, yeah. I wanted to say the pre-evolution name of Amora, and I was like, no, that's not right. And we have the Chestnut, the defense form Deoxys, and the Shadow Drapion, which also looks really strong here, because even against the Quagsire, it can put on a surprising amount of neutral damage from Crunch alone. And just like we were talking about with the Primeape, if you get that defense drop on your opponent, those Crunches are going to start stacking up way faster than you can shield.
As an early Drapion Spice player before the Poison Boost, Ice Fang, Fellstinger, Aquatail is
oh my god,
pretty much crazy, but if it's needed as the way to go against this lineup, it could
be. That's like super villain levels of crazy there.
Right,
like, I've got a plan.
I've got a plan. I like, you get in that Charizard, you know, I played that tile in Rose Cup with the Ice Punch being there too. Yeah, I know he's got, if he does Ice Punch, it opens up Ninetales now to really be able to be that pure charmer and open up the rest of his team. You don't have to worry about Aurorus and all that stuff. There is no Ghost, so the Crunch, that dark typing, not really needed as much. The water typing might be. Ice is definitely needed. Grass is going to be.
The Crunch gets the stab attack bonus, and it has that debuff chance.
I know we're all the... You and every other professional battler watching this right now are like, Sosa, just stop talking. Let's go to the battles, please.
You and your crazy ideas, get out of here.
And your
unconventional Drapions.
But I mean, if you think about it too, right? there are Pokemon, the Quagsire now. I really like what they've done with Quagsire, being able to open it up, but it has that ground typing. That Mud Bomb is going to be doing so much.
Yeah, I mean, I know we don't know for sure, you know, from a caster standpoint, but this Quagsire, could it potentially be a community day Quagsire?
It at this point, no, it is not a community day Quagsire. And yes, every battler was given the opportunity to bring Clodsire, but because the times were due at 5 p.m. and the Pacific, we had the West Coast and the East Coast battling each other. It was way too late. It would have been a bit of a difficult.
Perhaps next matchup.
Yes, perhaps next matchup. But we are ready for this next matchup, so let's get into the. As we are going to see Defense Deoxys lead right into the Quagsire. And Ms. Kaz, we talked about it with the Mud Bomb boost and the defense, or not the defense boost, but the attack boost that Shadow gives. Mud Bomb now actually hits almost 90 to 80 on this Defense Deoxys.
Yeah, and we see that this defense form from Deoxys from Snots is rocking Rock Slide, so it really can't stack on too much damage onto this Quagsire. Throwing the Psycho Boost first and dipping out into this Alola Ninetales is a great play from Snots. But unfortunately does have to give up a shield because the Quagsire did overfarm quite a bit of energy, and you don't know when that Stone Edge might come out. So we have 2 shields immediately off the field here, and now we do see going for that Stone Edge first, and this Ninetales is forced to give up the last shield for Snots. And I think that with this extra energy, the Quagsire might actually have to get out of there before the Ninetales can throw, but unfortunately, no. It loses the charged attack priority tie, so this the last shield will come up from Valiant Vish to protect the energy on this Quagsire from the Weather Ball.
Giving the swap was a smart idea, but on a Pokemon that has all of the energy and the Stone Edge to one-shot you like that. Quagsire is just standing there with a big old smile now as Aurorus comes out and now going to met with Superior. Now Superior's tanky can take this super effective Weather Ball, and this Frenzy Plant is going to shatter the rock typing of this dinosaur.
Yeah, but the switch timer is up, and we do see an attempted catch of the defense form Deoxys from Snots, but does not get that catch. Instead, the Superior from Valiant Vish wisely able to overfarm and now has 2 Frenzy Plants ready, running low on health. So will not be able to overcharge too much more before it has to throw another one to get this defense form Deoxys off the field. I'm not sure if Superior has enough health to get to the last Frenzy Plants that it needs against the Aurorus, but we see that the defense form Deoxys is going to go ahead and get it off the field anyway.
Deoxys has only thrown 1 Psycho Boost on Quagsire and had tons of energy after that. With this move now, it looked really good for Vish at the beginning, but now he's got to build the energy. He's going to take a hit with this Psycho Boost, and it's not going to be great, but it's still going to be a hit, and Aurorus is coming back with energy, and that Meteor Beam is building up real fast.
Gosh, we have to see a catch on Valiant Vish's remaining Quagsire. The timer is up. That is available. Because this X-Scissor is not going to be enough. And so they have to decide when this Aurorus is going to throw energy. But alas, Snots knows that that is the play and saves their move for when the Charjabug comes back in. And this Meteor Beam is absolutely going to destroy this precious Bug Bus. Beep, beep. Out it goes.
Had to take a snapshot of that and be like, guys, I brought Ninetales in on a Quagsire. It got destroyed. But don't worry, because Meteor
Don't worry, I have a plan.
One-shot at Charjabug. I have a plan.
Yeah, I have a plan, and he executed it so well. Snots, holding that energy at the end. I mean, this is just how good top tier battlers are with managing their energy, knowing when that switch timer for their opponent is up, and that has to be the win con that they cannot allow.
That was so, again, I was sitting there like, how did you just bring a Ninetales into a fully leveled up Quagsire as Construction Site Ocelot was wondering the same thing. I gotta fill out a document here. As Charjabug now meets, it's Poison Sting, or Poison Jab, Drapion
yeah,
here.
sorry, no unconventional Drapions here as far as we know. So Drapion will be able to outpace this Charjabug and throw a crunch. Do we see a debuff on the defense? No, not on the first one. And this Drapion does have to swap out because the X-Scissor will do quite a bit of damage onto the Shadow there. So we see that swap to the Alolan Ninetales from Snots, and getting a little bit of extra energy onto the Charjabug before Valiant Vish comes in with that Shadow Quagsire. And will we see the same type of play here?
I don't think we can, because the last time Quagsire came in with all of the energy. This time just one Dazzling Gleam.
Oh, a great shield call from Valiant Vish.
Yeah, as the Stone Edge comes in now. Now he knows he could just go straight double Stone Edge here and not be in trouble. Get that last shield from Snots. But the thing is, again, Snots walked away with energy again. So we'll have to see what he's doing with that Drapion in the back. As the last, I want to say Weather Ball. Yeah, Weather Ball is going to go off before, let's Valiant Vish build up a couple more attacks before he can throw that last Stone Edge.
Yeah, a great no shield call from Valiant Vish there, knowing that they could get that last shield and get extra energy onto this Shadow Quagsire, which has great play against pretty much everything on Snots' team except for the Chestnut, but I'm pretty sure we scared that off in the first game. So Quagsire now has all the energy it needs to threaten everything else in this back line. Defense Form Deoxys comes out to chip away at that Shadow Quagsire, but we see this Charjabug does have energy, but I'm not sure it can survive an attack from Defense Form Deoxys, so we do see a shield come up to protect it.
Kaz, do you see what's in the back?
I do.
Never fear. Primeape. Oh, makes a catch with the X-Scissor onto the Drapion. That means the Primeape is now going to have to see that Defense Deoxys. And not going to lie, Primeape wants to see that Defense Deoxys, especially if it's rocking that Night Slash. With the close combat in the Night Slash, it's going to be able to take out anything Defense Deoxys is going to do. But with the crunch here, it's a Sludge Bomb. That's actually going to be too...
Oh my gosh.
Can he get to it in time? No.
No, unfortunately, Primeape, even if Defense Form Deoxys did not throw this energy, this Primeape is just too low on health to get to that Night Slash. So that's not revealed. But Charjabug, as is Charjabug's Bug Bus way, has all the energy it needs to put the last X-Scissor onto this Defense Form Deoxys and take it off of the field. Valiant Vish using the Bug Bus to careen his way to victory. Beep, beep, coming through.
He did a great job making sure to walk out with that X-Scissor ready to go. He built up for 2 through 1, then swapped out to Primeape. That was a great play to dump the energy onto a quote-unquote third shield. Primeape almost got to the Night Slash. But
I do think he was counting on it being a crunch. Like the Sludge Bomb hadn't been revealed, and I think he was counting on catching a crunch there. But unfortunately, that Sludge Bomb just put the Primeape in an absolutely poor position for finishing off the match as Valiant Vish predicted. But again, having energy on that Charjabug was the key to success there. And even despite a great catch from Snots, the energy on that Charjabug was able to secure him victory.
Not gonna lie, there is nothing that Snots can do against that Charger. Not even the Flyer can handle the charge. It's quadruple weak, and his defense isn't even the best defense as a Flyer. This is so hard. Aurorus has to come back out to play, which means Primeape is going to be primed and ready to go. But it's Ninetales onto that Charjabug, and it's Quagsire and Seviper in the Superior in the back.
Yeah, exactly. I do think, I mean, this is a more neutral situation where the Charjabug really has to throw the discharges if it wants any kind of, attack to land and do any damage, because the X-Scissor is resisted. But fortunately, the Charjabug can take these Weather Balls fairly confidently.
Yeah, and you know what? Like you said, called it. It's the bus. It's the big tanky bus. We finally have a tanky bug Pokemon that can do something. Finally, Bug is here. Psychic is now going to have a hard time. We finally found
even
another
here,
reason
I
for
think it can survive this last weather ball to throw another discharge, but Valiant Fish does throw up the shield here before throwing their energy, wanting to protect a little bit of extra there and potentially get a few more volt switches in to get even more energy. But we see a shield for shield trade-off. So if Valiant Fish wants to maintain any of this energy still, he's going to have to give up the last shield right here and now.
He does so, and last time he did this against the Ninetales, it did not turn out in his favor. We'll find out if it plays out better. Again, bringing another Pokemon that's super weak to a charge move. I don't know Snot's idea, but it got him the W in the first game. We'll find out if it gets him the W in game 3, battle 3 here.
Yeah. So a great play here from Valiant Fish to bring in the Serperior and leave some energy on that Charjabug. And the Serperior can actually take these moves pretty well from the Defense Form Deoxys, especially if Psycho Boost is thrown first and immediately double debuffs the attack of its user. The Serperior is feeling even more confident now.
I'm really liking this play, bringing Serperior in by Valiant Fish, because if it is Aurorus in the back, you've got that Mud Bomb spam of the Shadow Quagsire there, and you've got Frenzy Plants putting on tons of pressure onto the Defense Form Deoxys. With one shield left, Snots has to make a decision. Yes, I get it, Oshawott. We have to make a decision, and it's going to be one, I promise. The video will be there. And it's Pelipper in the back, and that's not what you want to see at all. If you're, or that's what you want to see if you're Valiant Fish, for sure.
Yeah, but Snots, unfortunately, with this Pelipper in the back, is in quite a tough position. We do see a catch of the Aerial Ace onto this Ninetales, which means that Pelipper, is able to get even more energy. But unfortunately, the Quagsire can come in. How many volt switches can you get onto this bird before it wing attacks you down, though, is the question that Valiant Fish has to be asking themselves. No, coming straight in with the Quagsire.
Okay, that's interesting. I'd have thought maybe go straight in with the discharge, get that last shield so your Stone Edge could do it. But with all of that energy on Pelipper, it's one of the hardest hitting or the highest hitting attacks for COP. Can he get to the Stone Edge? He does. Get to the Stone Edge. Valiant Fish knows what his Quagsire can take, and he's gonna undercharge because he knows this is gonna get the shield. Taps immediately and with the energy, but no! There was extra energy from Snots.
Oh my gosh,
the energy
the
for the
Pelipper
Weather
has
Ball.
the Weather Ball, which will get the Charjabug out of the way, but the question is, can you get to one more Weather Ball here? No, you don't even need to. Wing attack down. Oh my gosh, another amazing comeback from Snots there, despite bringing the Pelipper in against a Charjabug lead. Oh my god.
They had it. They had the energy. They had the game plan. Snots knew there was the energy onto that Charjabug and knew he needed the Pelipper, needed the Weather Ball, not needed an extra tap to the Weather Ball. He knew he needed the Weather Ball right then and there. Threw the Hurricane onto that Quagsire. Nuked the heck out of that Quagsire. I can't believe how I thought the Quagsire was going to be a little healthier in the red. No. That thing was
the Shadow Quagsire, unfortunately, it doesn't have the same defense as the regular form, and Hurricane is one of the hardest hitting flying attacks in the game after Brave Bird, especially with the Sky Attack nerf that other birds suffered. So Pelipper actually has been pushed into quite a dominant position as a flyer, as long as it can avoid electric attacks.
Kaz, we said that it was going to be a hard uphill battle for Snots to work around this Charjabug, and he worked around the Charjabug beautifully. I don't even think I saw a second move from Defense Deoxys.
Well, I think,
Psycho Boost cut. Where's thrown?
I think as soon as he saw that Charjabug in the lead, he's like, all right, I can make this work. I can do this. I can make this work for me, right? As long as you get that Charjabug low enough, even if it does have extra energy, then you put Pelipper in a stronger position to dominate that backline. And getting shields out of the way meant that Hurricane could land against that Quagsire, which was absolutely clutch for Snots there. Great games.
Those were great games indeed. Well thought out, meticulous plans. I mean, I kind of feel like we saw a world final competition just happening of itself. The way they were playing it out was so good. The energy hold, like the workaround. Snott's getting 2 more points for his team and clawing their way back now from a 5-0 or a 5-1 to a 3-6 now. Muddy Water is not out of this. They are on a roll right now, and they're feeling real good.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Snott's able to claw back those other 2 points with some brilliant gameplay. I mean, I know that's one thing that I definitely need to work on as a trainer, is trying to predict when your opponent is going to throw their charge attack so you can properly withhold energy or catch if need be. And absolutely, both of these trainers here showing their precision gameplay. But we have 2 new teams here from Breezy from Muddy Water and Jay Engels over on Legends United Origins.
Oh my God, this Breezy team looks so much fun. It looks
both of these teams look so much fun.
Both of these teams look so much fun. I mean, you've got, on Breezy's side, we got Shadow Dragonair, Diggersby, Golbat, Shadow Poliwrath, rocking that counter now with that Community Day move. Toxapex and G-Fisk.
Yeah, amazing. And then over on Jay Engels' side, we have this, again, another Shadow Kanto Alolan Ninetales, as well as the Shadow Dragonair, another Pelipper, and Defense Form Deoxys. But we also have Whimsicott, which I personally think is like the Cresselia we were talking about earlier. I think Whimsicott can be a pretty strong core breaker given the right position. Unfortunately, there's a lot of poison over there on Breezy's side, but we do see the Galarian Stunfisk as the last Pokemon from Jay Engels to try and push that poison to the back as well. Some great, spicy picks here on both sides.
I mean, you're like, okay, what can these battlers do, right? But kind of all of their Pokemon's moves or what they're supposed to cover gives them a weakness to something else that the other battler has. And what I mean by that, like Golbat, great flyer, but the fighter is Defense Deoxys, so not that great, except Golbat has Shadow Ball, so it is effective. So it's these like little intricacies of these Pokemon that we're gonna see play out on the field, and I am just so ready here in Area Zero. This is so exciting.
I see a lot of ABB potential over on Breezy's side. We've got double ground, double water, double poison.
Yeah.
Like, there is so much opportunity there for them to try and manipulate the lineup from Jay Engels. But I do think that also rocking that Shadow Dragonair, Jay Engels has their own pressure to put on the entire team that Breezy has. I mean, the Dragon Breath is resisted from the Galarian Stunfisk, on both sides, but still, you can get to those Aqua Tails so quickly.
Yeah, after they gave Aqua Tail to Dragonair, it kind of finally found its place against the ground typing, against rock, against steels now. And, in this specific meta, in this format, something like Dragon Breath, huge, right? Altaria is still available, but because of the Sky Attack nerf, you get to that Aqua Tail faster. You can get that. You can spam that off. I know. I actually been doing really well with it. It's been wonderful in GBL. I've seen a bunch of them all over the place. It's great to see that Dragon Breath users still get to use it. But the Aqua Tail spam and the Body Slam spam. Back in Timeless Cup, when I first met a lot of these battlers, Dragonair was used, but it didn't have, it had wrap. You had wrap. It was only meant for Dragon Breath. Like, that's all it was meant for.
In these lineups we're looking at here, I think if Jay Engels can get, like, if he does see poison, if he can get that poison out of the way, I mean, that Whimsicott can put on so much good neutral pressure against the rest of Breezy's team.
Right, like we're talking about the dragon, and then there's this Whimsicott just chilling over there.
Just waiting, just lurking. And I mean, I've used Whimsicott myself when it got access to Fairy Wind, and able to get to both of its very strong charged attacks very quickly. It's able to put on a lot of pressure in the right scenario. So I think if Jay Engels can find a way to get the poison out, then Whimsicott's going to have a good time.
Oh, man. Didn't we watch Whimsicott dominate somebody else in game one? Right?
Probably.
They brought it. I think I watched JJan lose to Whimsicott or something. I don't remember. I saw Whimsicott do so well. I'm so excited to see Jangles versus Breezy. This is game 4 of 5 matches. Muddy Water needs to start stacking on wins because if Jangles wins this could be it, and we'll go to game 5. But we'll find out now as it's Breezy Jangles, and let's see. Ooh, Dragonair.
Let's get into it.
Dragonair on Stunfisk. We just talked about this. Let's see how this really plays out. As now it's Dragonair onto that Breezy. He's going to get those Dragon Breaths off and going to build up for that Aqua Tail.
Yeah, and it's no surprise that Dragonair stays in this matchup because even though it is outpaced, I mean, you can still see how much damage that Dragon Breath is doing while resisted. And I mean, J-Angle's really overloading on energy here. I think wanting to get to 2 rock slides. Oh my gosh, no, going straight for that Earthquake. And we do see an immediate shield from Breezy, like, nah, I know what you're doing here.
I'm not buying it, pal. I don't want this book. I'm reading the plays. I'm putting up the shields as another Aqua Tail. We'll probably take out, nope, not going to take out Jangles as he puts up the shield on that Stunfisk. And now Stunfisk is going for, oh my gosh, you're going for another Earthquake?
Oh my gosh, absolutely
I like
insane.
this play. I like this play. I like this play. Double rock slide. Sorry.
No, well, knowing that the Dragon Breath damage is resisted, oh my gosh, the Galarian Stunfisk is able to overfarm, but Breezy makes sure that he's not able to take advantage of it, bringing in the Poliwrath with counter to immediately get that Galarian Stunfisk and its energy out of the field. But unfortunately, that means that it is met with the Pelipper from Jangle's side, the exact position this Pelipper wants to be in. That Ice Punch does quite a bit of neutral damage, but Pelipper can absolutely get a ton of overfarm here.
Yeah, and with no shields, this Hurricane is going to go off. We're going to say goodbye to Poly. Now, Breezy did a great job sniping, but now locked a no-shield fighter against a flying and maybe what could have been a fairy up there. So that was real tough for that Poliwrath, but here comes the Pelipper, as you said, built up all that extra energy. Now spamming that off that Dragonair, and this is great. That chip damage, then come in with the Dragon Breath of your own. Yeah. The opponent has an extra shield. There you go, Jangles. Oh, he's reading it now. He's like, I know you might have read my plays, but still going to win it.
Yeah, but unfortunately, we do see lurking in the back is Breezy's own Galarian Stunfisk. And now with no more shields in play, this Shadow Dragonair is even at an energy advantage. I mean, the Galarian Stunfisk can easily survive this Aqua Tail and be able to throw off the Earthquake that it needs to get the Dragonair off of the field. Overfarming just a little bit so that it has potentially a Rock Slide ready for that sliver of health that the Pelipper still has.
Yeah, Pelipper needs a Weather Ball ready to go or else it's not going to get a W, and that is it. As the Rock Slide's popping off here for G-Fish, and Breezy takes game 1. Takes match 1. Battle 1.
Yes, match 1.
Battle
1.
Takes battle 1 of this match between Breezy and Jangles.
We're all on the same page here.
Yeah. In the game of...
Yeah, Breezy absolutely knew what they had to do there once the final Pokemon was revealed from J-Angles. Unfortunately, all the energy in the world, doesn't mean a lot when you have the attack pressure on your final Pokemon and are able to get to the charged attacks just that much faster. So this next one, we do see the Shadow Poliwrath come out in the lead from Breezy against the Defense Form Deoxys, both doing significant neutral damage to one another, but saving their energy and swapping out. This must be a painful matchup for Breezy to be in, but I have to wonder if they've deliberately tried to lure something out here.
It would seem like they would. That Pelipper caused so much trouble in the last matchup. And now that Jangles knows what Poliwrath is rocking, Ice Punches and Power-Up Punches, like, It's real simple for him to bring that defense Deoxys loaded with energy. Both of them have their fighters in the back. We'll see how they play it out, because this is the beauty of having that energy in the back like you do. Shields or no shields, as the Pelipper gives up the shield, and it's shield advantage for Breezy now, but will it be the right call, because that Deoxys defense has the energy as well?
Yeah, and I mean, this Pelipper does have a lot of energy, but unfortunately, it has to land a Hurricane to do anything significant, even to its Shadow Dragonair. So we do see a Weather Ball bait get shielded by Breezy, wanting to be able to potentially farm all the way down. I wouldn't be surprised if we see no shield here.
Yeah,
Great call.
double play here. Get some chip, get that shield, get in your opponent's head. Right now, Breezy's built up energy, but little shaken. Oh, and it's this Stunfisk that comes back. It is actually really nice for Breezy, because now all that Aqua Tail energy is going to splash right off and just flow right off that Dragonair.
Yeah, but unfortunately, this leads us right back to the lead scenario where the defense form Deoxys in the lead has energy and can significantly threaten this Poliwrath, as we do see not only does it have Psycho Boost, which would be super effective and stab damage, but it has the Thunderbolt as well, forcing the last shield from Breezy's side.
It is an uphill battle for this Poliwrath Dragonair combo. Poliwrath needs to have 2 boosted skulls in order to do some good damage to this defense Deoxys, because the Psycho Boost is here, and even though it's going to drop the attack of that counter, the Dragonair is not going to be able to withstand much, because it's not that healthy.
Yeah, it just doesn't have the health left, even with all the energy in the world. Jay Engel still has a shield on his side and rightly lets the defense form Deoxys go so that the Galarian Stunfisk can come back with its own energy already ready. Dragonair does win the charged attack priority tie, but again, up goes that shield from Jay Engels. A great play.
Great job by Jangles here. Getting one more back, saying like, I know y'all are trying to claw back, but I've still got one up. This is game 3, very important game here for Breezy. Gotta come out with the W here.
Yeah, I mean, Breezy did a great job in that first match, and I think that they wisely saw that Jay Engels liked to have Pelipper in the back with energy, and used the Diggersby to get that potentially out in the open and available to farm down a little bit. So, but unfortunately, couldn't manipulate the that bad lead. Despite that strong gameplay. And so here we see in the third matchup between these two battlers, the Shadow Dragonair from Jay Engels against the Galarian Stunfisk once again from Breezy.
Right, like here we go again, where it's game 1. It's a flip side of game 1. We'll see Breezy will go for the Earthquake too, as the Aqua Tail is just going to be let go. Breezy knows what the Aqua Tail does. We just watched it do it in game 1 or battle 1. So here comes the Earthquake. Will Jangles shield it?
Oh, he's gonna wait until the last minute. No shield on that Earthquake means that this Dragonair is just barely able to survive and get to the next Aqua Tail, which, if it goes unshielded, will actually knock out the Galarian Stunfisk. No, we do see Jay Engels maintain shield advantage in that first, that lead matchup. And now this Galarian Stunfisk does have a ton of energy. And the only answer that Jay Engels can come up with is their own Galarian Stunfisk, because Rock Slide, even though it is not a stab attack, would still add up on the Pelipper that he wants to keep in the back. Oh my God, the Earthquake lands again. I mean, Jay Engels really doing his best to over farm here a little bit before throwing the Rock Slide that will be enough to knock out the opposing Galarian Stunfisk from Breezy.
Right, it is a shield advantage. He's tapping at that Pelipper right away. Yeah, Diggersby's coming. Here comes the Pelly. Here comes the Dragon Breath. And that's what it's got to come down to. Just spam and Dragon Breath down. Keep your boy alive. Do what you can do.
Yeah, unfortunately, in this scenario, like we said, Pelipper does have to land the Hurricane to have any hope of getting damage across. Meanwhile, the Dragon Breath is just absolutely stacking up, but Pelipper able to reach that Hurricane just in time. Now, the question is, did that Galarian Stunfisk from Breezy, or the Diggersby have, it definitely has enough health to get to the Fire Punch. This Pelipper has shields to hide behind, but unfortunately I don't think has enough health to get all the Weather Balls it needs.
Needs 2 Fire Punches because of that, or sorry, 3 Fire Punches because of that G-Fisk. It don't matter. There are 2 shields on Jangles, and Jangles like, yo, you guys still have 4 shields from your first 2 battles. I'm gonna keep 2 shields from this battle too.
Yeah.
But he's gonna give back 1 because it is a Fire Punch that will KO. Yeah. We'll see. Can he get to the 3rd Fire Punch before the Earthquake? Oh, the rock slide? Is
yes,
that enough?
I mean,
oh, it is.
Oh, that is just enough with no shield. I mean, that was some great play from Breezy there, really trying to stack up the energy onto that Diggersby. But unfortunately, with the Pelipper in the back from Jay Ingles, just not able to get into as dominant a position as he needed to get another point back. So Jay Ingles taking 2 points now to secure a stronger lead for Legends Origins United.
I mean, Breezy
Legends United Origins.
Yeah, Breezy tried so hard. The Poliwrath came out so many times. I'm surprised we didn't see Whimsicott, but with everything that happened, and so close. That Dragonair staying alive in game 3 with 1 HP to get that shield, game changer, win call.
Yeah. Absolutely, giving Jay Ingles that shield advantage, I think, is what won him that entire game, and showing that even though you might consider a Pokemon to be incredibly glassy, if you know it well enough, if you know your Shadow Dragonair well enough and can get just with a sliver of health the last attack you need to force the shields from your opponent, it puts you into such a strong position for the rest of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. It was absolutely well played. The battlers, again, great on the energy, great on the play. We talked about the Pokemon that their specific role, the counter of it, had play against them, so on and so forth. But you saw that tankiness come through very well. The tanky of the Diggersby, the tanky of the Poliwrath, and the Dragonair. People are like, oh, those aren't tanky Pokemon. They are. The real tanky Pokemon. They can take hits. The problem is, you've got Thunderbolt on defense Deoxys, you got Hurricanes on Pelipper. You really can't give up shields to the Earthquakes of the G-Fisk.
Yeah, I mean, that was also a really good, intense game time decision that I think put Breezy in the disadvantage, was not shielding that Earthquake. You know, trying to call the bait is one of the hardest things to do while battling in Pokemon Go. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, you know? And so suffering that Earthquake, I think, was something that definitely hurt for the rest of the game as well. But we do have our final 2 battlers here, and I think they are ones that almost everyone is familiar with. We see Alphaphoebe over on Muddy Waters' side, rocking that Mantine, Toxicroak, Umbreon, Serperior, the Berserker, and the Frostlass. This is quite an interesting team. What do you see over from House Stark?
House Stark is bringing the Azumarill, the Toxicroak, the Bastiodon, Unova Stunfisk, Sableye, and Mandibuzz. See, they let him take the only steal, like only 1 steal is allowed, and they gave it to Stark. They're like, you are the honor of the steal.
No, we saw the Galarian Stunfisk in the last game. The usual. The steel type that we might have forgotten about a little bit since that Earthquake nerf. But we have the Berserker over on. Yeah,
I see a lot of tank going on over here on both teams, but on House Stark as well. Even though Toxicroak isn't that tanky, I still feel it feels really safe to take hits. There is no Psychic, no Ghost typing, so feel really good there on House Stark side right now.
Yeah, and with access to Mud Bomb, which also recently got buffed, you know, it can put a lot of pressure even onto the Frostlass, which is, you know, might not seem like a great matchup for Toxicroak, but being able to spam that damage a little bit faster than your opponent can with that Glassy Ghost means that it's actually not a clear-cut matchup as you might think. I really do like their superior though from Alpha Phoebe's side. The quick access to aerial ace means it can put on a lot of neutral damage to most of the team. Not to mention, the frenzy plant super effective that you can get against that Stunfisk, against that Bastiodon, against that Azumarill.
Mm-hmm. I like that. No, Superior is really good. I like the Mandibuzz. I want to know if he's rocking Air Slash on it. I think Air Slash against Alpha Phoebe's lineup would be really good. Yeah, you lose. You don't really lose anything with the Frostlass, right? You're not getting Snarl, but you're still throwing foul plays. You're doing the damage. You're mostly going to see those Pokemon anyways besides Mandibuzz or besides Frostlass.
I think it's definitely a worse matchup for Frostlass, and it's probably a slightly worse matchup against the Berserker as well. But it does get you better neutral damage against everything else, not to mention super effective against Toxicroak and the Superior. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's the play, but I'm excited to find out.
I'm excited to find out too. We're going to go find out right now as we're heading to Game 5 in Area 0 of the Paradox. Muddy Water versus Legends United Origins. And of course, Hard Hat, Construction Hat, Ocelot's here to watch this final matchup as it's Sableye into Berserker here. Berserker running Play Rough and Close Combat. Get out. That is a crazy
interesting because this is the matchup, or that is the moveset that you would want against this Sableye, which doesn't know yet that you have that Play Rough, but instead we do see 2 close combats ready for Alpha Phoebe, and one of them being thrown here will probably have to get a shield before swapping out and saving some energy on that Berserker, catching the next foul play onto Superior, which is a tanky grass Pokemon that can take this move pretty well.
Ooh, there's some energy left on Berserker, but not enough health as Superior comes in, takes that foul play, and a catch by House Stark. You're crazy. What'd you catch this time? Please be Bastiodon. Please be back.
No, it was a Mandibuzz. Oh, it was a Mandibuzz, which is, I mean, it's great that he, caught a move, but out of the 2, Aerial Ace is the one that should be landing on the Mandibuzz. That's all that Superior can do in this situation is start stacking these Aerial Aces as fast as possible. But this Snarl Mandibuzz from House Stark is able to get quite a bit of extra energy before throwing the first Aerial Ace, which probably is enough to knock this Superior out of the way. Ooh, just barely survives to get off one more Aerial Ace.
Again, the tank on tank, getting the Pokemon to survive one more time to keep that extra chip damage, huge. But against another tank like Mandibuzz, it is not in Alpha Phoebe's favor right now. This is a tough matchup. Phoebe is in an uphill battle, and he brings out the Mantine, rocking that Ice Beam and Aerial Ace as well.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, this is a spot where you potentially want the Mantine with those movesets. Actually, that's not an Aerial Ace. That's a Bubble Beam over there on Alpha Phoebe's Mantine. So even though you do have access to that Ice Beam, you can overfarm just a little bit to get this Mandibuzz in a low enough position where it can knock out. Unfortunately, we do see on the opposite side that it is an Azumarill waiting in the back. So House Stark preserving shields here to protect not only the tank on that Azumarill, but the energy that this Sableye still has.
And half health too, where Berserker's in the deep red and doesn't want to come out to Shadow Claw. It's not going to want to see that Azumarill in the back either with no health. So here comes the Bubble Beam, and House Stark is going to be relieved to find out that his opponent is not rocking Aerial Ace. Oh, tried to make a catch, didn't work, has the foul play banked up, now lost the debuff on his Sableye. That's why he got it out of there. And in comes Azu. Alpha Phoebe has stopped tapping on charge move because he understands it is always Play Rough from here.
Yeah, with the moveset of Bubble Beam and Ice Beam, there's just not a lot that this Mantine can do against an Azumarill, especially since the attempted catch there meant you lost that extra energy you did have on the Berserker. Some great gameplay there with the catches from Alpha Phoebe, but unfortunately the movesets chosen just, I think, put him at a little bit of a disadvantage.
Yes, it put them at a bit of a disadvantage for sure. Not to mention that you got that Azu just sitting in the back. Now that Superior was off the table, as it was like, free
freedom.
Roman.
So here we see Toxicroak coming in from Alpha Phoebe, trying to put a little bit more pressure onto that Azumarill potentially waiting in the back with the extra energy that a Sludge Bomb might offer, and does throw on the charge attack priority tie here. Will get the Mud Bomb off first. The Sableye can safely tank this first move, and meanwhile, might think that this is a return. Will we see the first shield from Alpha Phoebe? No, actually going to accept the damage from the resisted foul play, which still adds up to quite a bit on the glassy Toxicroak. And unfortunately, we see a beautiful catch from House Stark of the Mud Bomb onto this Mandibuzz.
Stark, that was mean, my friend. That was so mean. Oh,
cruelty on the field.
Cruelty on the field. Put the flag out there. Get the Rotom out there. As you now see, the Mandibuzz comes out with the Dark Pulse. There are shields, both shields on both opponents, as the Frostlass joins the Mandibuzz now. Built up the energy. That ice typing is what Alpha Phoebe wanted. And we saw that the Toxicroak came out to handle the Azumarill, but the Azumarill now gonna have to deal with this Frostlass.
Yeah, I mean, there are still two shields in play over on House Dark side to protect that very tanky Azumarill, but unfortunately, Frostlass with energy is one of the most dangerous things in this game, and is able to immediately throw an avalanche onto this Sableye and get the first shield for House Dark before they can throw that foul play from their Sableye.
Yeah, this is going to be, oh my goodness, a foul play to take it out. And it's shield for shield. I don't know who fully wins the one shield here, but I know that Shadow Claw is important.
Yeah, I think that Superior still takes this matchup against Azumarill because Superior being slightly tankier than a Venusaur, which we're a little bit more used to seeing, can survive the first Ice Beam, just like the Azumarill can survive a Frenzy Plant. But unfortunately, the Frenzy Plants are able to outpace just a little bit.
Yeah, I like this. The timer's up on Toxicroak, right? So they can make a catch, but I think you can get to it. I think you can get to, oh yeah, House Stark knows. Yeah, he can get to it before. Yeah. As Sableye is going to have to see this Aerial Ace, and there it is. Alpha Phoebe gets a point back for Muddy Water.
Yeah, beautiful adjustments there from Alpha Phoebe, knowing that their opponent had already shown their reliance on having that very tanky Azu in the back. So saving the Superior this time, forcing some early shields with that Toxicroak. Great play.
Great play indeed. I like that indeed by swapping and changing it up to the Toxicroak to make
Speaking of swapping and changing it up, oh my god!
You bring Bastion on and you get a Mantine lead, you savage! As it's now Sableye into Berserker.
But we haven't actually revealed the play rough, and we're gonna see it now. Does House Stark predict this move? They do, and throws up the shield to protect from this play rough. Now, having seen that come out, they can. House Stark over farms on energy just a little bit, knowing they can outpace the Berserker to the next play rough.
Yeah, this is huge. Getting the foul play. We saw that foul play did almost 50% of Berserker's health. As you see, it nearly took out Berserker just there with another foul play ready to go. The Mantine or the Superior don't want to see or take the chip damage right now. And Kaz, there is no Azu in the back.
There is not. I was just going to say, I feel like, when faced with what to bring in this matchup, if you could see the back line, you might bring in Superior to start getting some extra energy. But unfortunately, bringing the Mantine back in to try and get some extra energy, I think knowing that you need Superior for that Bastiodon matchup as well, and hoping that perhaps with some shields, it could do better against the Azu as well. But unfortunately, as Alpha Phoebe is going to see here, it's just not going to be enough.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Phoebe! Gabe.
Unfortunately, that's just, sometimes that's how the game goes. You are backed into a corner. As much as you thought you might have known what that backline was going to be, you're backed into a corner and cannot escape from a terrible matchup. So I mean, what great adjustments getting that other point in the mid game there from House Stark, but unfortunately Alpha Phoebe just forced into a really bad position in that last game, giving the last point to House Stark for Legends or United Origins.
Yeah, Legends United Origins. It's a mouthful. It's a mouthful.
Yeah, I keep wanting to swap the last two words for some reason. My apologies.
LUO. It's just LUO. Lou. LUO now takes the W, and notice how they started off 5-0 and they got the 10-5. Where in the game one we started off 5-0 and lost to 10-5. We are now going to have in the grand finals the SoCal Swablues versus the Legends United Origins. These are some matchups, again, top tier battlers. We just watched them in game 1 and game 2 show off dominant skills, absolutely intricate battling styles. Like, I can't believe how we got to some of those wins. I was like, oh, it's game, it's not over yet. It's, oh my god, the other way around.
Exactly. It just goes to show that sometimes you can manipulate your way out of bad matchups, and you can turn it around with 1 HP and a dream, as some people like to say. Yeah.
Don't give up on the fight. You can always win it. But next Tuesday at 5 p.m. PST again, we will be having the SoCal Swablues versus the Legends United Origins. Now we've got Dre Flames versus Arrow, Mystic Mamba 24 versus Valor Ash, Quaza Sucks versus Valiant Vish, Flying Pizza versus Jangles, and Dodger 22 Fan versus House Stark.
It's gonna be even more intense battles. That the stakes keep getting higher, and the battles keep getting closer and closer.
Yeah, I know all these battlers. We've all seen these battlers on the right side. I personally know the battlers on the left side through many, many battles from living in SoCal. And not for nothing, none of the battlers on the right side came to LA and won LA in the LA Mega. When it came down to it, it came down to the battlers on the left side taking it. So
I mean, we all know that California never disappoints. They have their own Gym Breakers team. They have, their own factions. Like, it's just they never mess around.
California love.
But I know that Legends United is going to give them quite a run for their money, because we have some world championship level competitors over there.
I am not putting any money down on thinking that Swablu's gonna win this. This is absolutely an uphill battle.
I'll hold on to all my bets until the day of.
I don't know how many times I've hyped up Cali, and then Cali game comes up and Cali doesn't show up. So I love Cali. I will always hype up Cali, but you never know. The battles are always intense. That's what I love about this format, is that it brings out 30 unique Pokemon and their play styles. You saw great battlers today not really lose by like ridiculous, besides the Alpha Phoebe rage quit, but that in and of itself was just a drafting situation. It was the the pairing was a little bit off, didn't really help in his favor, but still got his team a point. Made the adjustment, got his team a point.
The nice thing about the draft format too is we do get to see more unique picks than we do across like the Play Pokemon circuit, or even sometimes in GBL. Sometimes you get tired of seeing the same old thing. This format actually forces you to kind of think outside the box a little bit, and we did see quite a few spicy picks on the field secure points for their team. So I'm excited to see more draft format in our finale.
Hey Kaz, guess what?
What?
I got the bands already. If we all want to see the bands, the crowd want to see the
little
bands.
Little preview
of the bands. Blammo. Here we go.
So no one wanted to see Carbink. Got it, right? Okay.
And not for nothing, I'm starting to see Carbink now, and I'm like, no. This thing is,
Yeah.
you got to do so much. You got like 3 Pokemon that anti-Carbink. It's so bad.
Plus, we have the Medicham Lantern core back off the field, you know, and Frostlass is a really interesting pick to ban as well, because I mean we've seen what it can do, you know, what this classy ghost can do when it has the energy and shield advantage.
Yeah.
So I think that getting it off adds even more flexibility for your plays.
Taking off the Gligar, I really like, because again, this is the top tier flyer and it goes against the ground steel. I don't think Swablu was expecting all of this steel bans from Legends.
Maybe
Because
not.
now, like, having Dig on Gligar isn't the best. Gliscor could pop up. Gliscor could still be good because of Night Slash.
I hope we do. I mean, Big Bat.
But
Big Bat always welcome on my screen.
Big Bat always welcome. Fantastic.
Yes.
Frostlass.
Exactly.
I feel like Frostlass and Steelix are kind of, yeah, we know who you are on your team, and we don't.
I mean,
want
I
you
feel
playing
like-
with it.
I feel like Steelix and Registeel both are just at this point in the meta just like more annoying than anything. You know, it's like,
yeah.
oh my god, I know you're gonna throw Breaking Swipe. Please stop. Like, just stop.
Just cut it out. Is it Thunderfang? Is it Thunderfang or is it Dragon Tail?
That's the only surprise I ever wait for is like, is that a Thunderfang Steelix? Oh my god.
But this is going to be an excellent matchup starting on Tuesday at 5 p.m. Myself, Hurricane Chaos, and others will be there to give the cast and do the breakdown. So it's going to be wonderful here on the channel again. Real quick, big shout out to Palatown PvP, Miss Hurricane Kaz, an RTC Roundtable Chat Tot, and MJ Get It for helping, being a part of the production. And the casters from last time did a wonderful job. RTC Roundtable Chat Tot are doing wonderful stuff on their podcast. They have a great breakdown this week of real quick talk about it in their this week's chat. So be sure to listen to this week's podcast. Is it a podcast? Did I say podcast? In this podcast?
Yes.
That episode, it's great. They'll be doing one for grand finals as well and stuff to keep the Paradox going. So be on the lookout for a Roundtable Chat Tot. And MJ Get It, hopefully we'll be doing another one of our lovely analysis because he gave some great team breakdowns there. So thank you to him for that. Go check them out. There will be links and everything for everybody there.
Awesome. Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. MJ Get It always does amazing analysis and breakdowns. And RT Chatot, they also have an amazing, fun podcast to listen to. So if you're not familiar, definitely go check it out.
Absolutely. A big thank you again, Miss Kaz, for joining me today. A big
Of
thank
course.
you to the battlers for being a part of this. We've got the Swablu and the Legends going at it now. I heard rumors of a Mega Pokemon.
Oh my gosh, if I do not see, they're allowed. If I do not see someone bring a Mega Pokemon in the next matchup, I swear I will be so disappointed.
But like, you
Come
gotta
on.
think about it. To bring a Mega Pokemon, you gotta figure out which level, like where's the CP at to evolve it.
I know.
It takes a lot.
I know some of you out there have them. I know you have them, so don't disappoint me. I want to see
Barney
it.
Stinson, right here.
I
right
want to
here.
see it. I want to see it. I'll pay to see it. Just let me at it.
Fair enough. You heard it here, folks. You will pay to see the Megas. Well,
Yes.
thank you, Miss Kaz. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We're going to go to the credits and then close out. Have a wonderful raid day. Be on the lookout for those Mega Garchomps. Get all the raid extravaganzas, the fun. Miss Kaz, are you raiding anywhere today? Are you going anywhere out to raid?
I am. I'm actually going to pick up a friend, and we are going to go do some raids right after I leave this screen.
Woohoo! Awesome.
I am ready to mega my hundos and to find maybe find a shundo.
Ooh. Would this be your first shundo or no?
No, I only have one shundo in my game right now, and that is my, it's actually a lucky shiny hundo Ho-Oh, which is the most perfect shundo I could have asked for to be my first. But maybe today I'll find another one, and I hope everyone out there does too.
Well, I'm hoping that everyone out there as well as you get it as well. This is so good. A great raid day. Good luck to you and your friends, and be safe out there as we are all going out for those Garchomps. We will see you on Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific time for SoCal Swablu versus Legends United Origins here in the Paradox. Thank you and have a great Saturday morning.